Very welcome to our today second session of second class. This is last part, third part of the series we started 2 weeks ago. The series is covering the important content on science of mind and body. In part one, we discuss and we learn different aspect how the body and mind they work together, and we get emotions, and we have our body language, and we motive, and we work in our world. In second part, we discuss about how diseases uh, are very connected with our mind, and mostly diseases and their paradigms are only the creation of our mind. And that's why many people, they they are more weaker, they are more sensitive because of their mental approach to understanding the environment, and also the nature of diseases or the stories they heard from the society and its media. Today, it's so important, third and last topic. Actually, it's a very vast topic, but because of constraint of time, I will present you in a wrap up sort of thing. It will be very brief, but will touch many important aspect in a sort of revelation for me, for you as well, because it has addition of consciousness, because the body and mind are directly connect with consciousness. And what is a consciousness, that we are going to learn as well. But if we try to close or want to see what we will covering in this session in next 30 minutes, that we will going to learn how does black magic control us. Many people, they have some concept and misconception about black magic. We will try to learn and understand it. Is about how we can achieve or get real peace without any stress. Is that possible? We will learn. uh, Diseases, do we create diseases in our mind, or they are real, exist beyond my mind? Also, we will try to just touch is what is a law of consciousness, how we can learn from this law of consciousness. We will also learn that how we can eradicate or cure any disease successfully, or even if we don't, if we are not able to cure any disease, why we are not able to cure disease based on content of or the paradigm which we are presenting in this session. Also, the miracles beyond religious affiliation, do they exist, or they are just fiction? That it's not a direct topic of today, but some people can relate as well. So, lot of insights we will going to cover in this session. Yeah. Uh, the reading from for this session we have taken from a legend and psychiatrist and spiritual guru, from his book Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. uh, like as usual, but I have added some my own feedback and input as well, or some research from other books as well in today's session. Uh, and That's how we are going to do today. Uh, Before I start it, I would like to make a disclaimer, or have a consent with you, that the content in this session you are watching with your own responsibility, uh, and and anything, if you think that in this session you don't agree or you agree, it is absolutely your own opinion, or how you can make judgment about the things. I will trying to help you based on opinion of other great authors and the books as well. And we can learn a lot of things from today. So uh, let's start it from today. If you see this story, if this image, uh, that how we have capability to change or mold or bend materialistic objects, like if you heard about or watch a film, a Hollywood film, Matrix, or a lot of other movies have been produced of idea of matrix, in which your mind start to have a capability or unleash that potential that you can change the reality of matter as well, based on your thoughts or your intention or your focus. Or do you think that you can change or distort positively the external world's reality, which is producing, which is at the moment around us? It's very mind blowing. It's very catalytically this episode. Um it's it can change the outlook of your life as well, and that is very important if you want to change your life, if you want to change your current circumstances. If you see about the other thing in our societies everywhere, we often think that the black magic uh, is everywhere, or many people they blame, or they when they feel victimized sort of person, and they want to blame someone, then they also have option that he or she is victim of black magic by his or her friend or relative or other people or other group as well. So why it is this? Why many people they believe on these sort of things very firmly, and actually they do as well. They become victim of black magic. It does mean that the black magic is a reality, or is just a hypothetical, just imaginative things which I become or I indulge in myself. So that's we are going to learn in this session as well. So you can add your output as well. You can speak with me or with the audience, and we can learn from each other about a topic as well. Uh, but I will give you the quality content what I can produce for you and for myself as well. Yeah. So let's start to read the text from the book and how we are going to do. And before going to learn from the text, I want to ask you, what do you think that why many people they are not able to healed or cure from the diseases? For example, many people die because of cancer, because of heart attack, because of stroke, because of some syndrome or abnormal type of genetic problem they have. Why why they do, or why they are not able to heal, even though they are recognized by medical science. There are many great researches, and billions or millions of pounds are uh, investing on the research to cure and understanding that disease, but people still dying. Millions of people still dying because of very popular diseases like heart attack, angina pain, stroke, uh, cancer. They are the diseases, I think more than 50, 60 years ago, laboratories have identified, and they are successfully to cure it for many other patients, but not all patients. Obviously, one answer is that depends what level of disease is spread in the body. But even if it's spread in the body or its intensity is so great that the person cannot handle, the body cannot handle that disease. That's why people get expired or they die before their time. Uh, so why? I mean, look at the example of COVID-19. Many people, even they look very fit, they also sometimes die because of COVID. And when we listen the stories from their friend and relative, and they say, "Oh, my dad was perfectly fit person," or "My brother was amazing," or "My mom was a super fit," but this disease killed them. And why is that? So we are trying, obviously that's a big topic, that's sort of lot of things are connected, but based on our body, mind and body science, we are trying to learn what we can learn. So let's start it. And at the moment, I will ask you if you can blank your mind, just whatever your beliefs or you have rationality in your mind and you have set before that session, forget about, just leave it as it is, and let's try to learn what from this text, and then we can comparison that were we exaggerating the things before this session or before reading this text, or now you understood the new reality and new learning actually. So if you have this approach, then I'm sure you will get or stay firm on your old beliefs, or you will get new things for more learning as well. So I would request my friend Jenny if she can start reading.
Comparison with other techniques. As we have seen, stress arises from within as a response to a stimulus. The stressor actually is the pressure of the suppressed and repressed emotional energies, which are a reflection of our general low-level consciousness. Thus, it is the content of our consciousness that has to be changed to eliminate and prevent stress. The commonly prescribed treatments for stress are similar to the treatments in the field of medicine. They try to fix the damage done by the disease we already have rather than cure the internal cause of the disease. Note, spirit of professional and moral relationships is that huge dilemma. I think they are a lack of awareness of importance of consciousness.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a great reading. So here we are adding a word, a notion about consciousness. And this consciousness is has so many different meanings, and but here we are trying to understanding what real notion of consciousness and importance in our life. And I'm telling you a different paradigm, totally what we believe or what our scientific world believe. Before going to consciousness, remember, I'm not teaching you in detail about consciousness. It's a very vast topic and lot of dimensions comes. I will make a separate series of on consciousness, but here I'm touching you, briefing you about so that we have a basic understanding of consciousness, which is helping, which will help for understanding today's content only. So consciousness is a hypothetical location in a modern man, which many people think or all people believe. For example, if a person who is modern, who believe on science, if I say what is consciousness or where is consciousness, he or she will reply me, oh, there is no consciousness. It's only brain which controls you. It only minds that controls you, and your body coordinates with your mind, and that's it. There is no consciousness. That is a one popular answer for consciousness. The other person may reply, well, consciousness is your deep understanding when your brain and your heart start to work together, and that consciousness generates from this coordination, and then you operate under the consciousness. That's a second type of approach. You will listen. And the third approach could be, which is more important and more realistic in many people's point of view, philosophers' point of view, uh, spiritual gurus and spiritual healers' point of view, is that the consciousness is a universal fact and the reality which does not locate anywhere, but it controls your mind, which is located on your inside your brain. And that consciousness is fixed. You cannot add anything, you cannot take out anything from consciousness. It's fixed, it's universal. And every person who born with consciousness, who born in this world, they also born with consciousness. But when we are raising, when we are with nurturing, when we are with training and development with my parents, with my teacher, with society, that actually add the layers of our teaching based on our mind, based on our intellect level, what my society or my parents or my teacher have. Based on these intellects, I am raising, and that consciousness become uh, is hiding with this nurturing, with this training. And then when we become adult, then we become so negative, then we raised with so many social evil rooted things. We become a part of problem. We see the things not from reality point of view, but we see the things as a deceptive person, as a decepting receptor, and we interpret the things based on my brain. And because that brain is not governed by my consciousness when I was bringing up, when I was brought up, therefore my all perceptions, my all paradigms are faulty. Until I open and I will reconnect with my consciousness, then I will start to have peace, and that then I will be, what is called, will live beyond sufferings. So that's a general understanding of consciousness. I'm telling you, and that is a widely accepted definition, a quick definition of consciousness. So everyone who, whether aware about this thing or not, born with consciousness. And when the person is deceived by the environment and operated by only brain, they usually have a very low level of consciousness. And that's why they say we tend to have diseases, because all diseases are the reflection of our thought which we learn from our society. And that's these old diseases are not creation or under governing body of consciousness. That's why we are creating lot of diseases every day. We try to cure them, and then we get more diseases. And that's why some people who are able to touch the middle level of consciousness, or or real consciousness, then they are free from every disease, and then they can live even more longer, 100 or 110 or 20 years as well. The people who live with consciousness, not with the mind. The people who are governed by their minds only, away from consciousness and its reality, they actually suffer all the time, and they die with diseases, or they all the time struggle with his life, with the relationship with himself, because the mind actually create a opposite of consciousness, and that consciousness is ego. That is called ego, and that ego drive me in the world, because ego is driven by my mind. It survive me in this world beyond, and it is opposite of consciousness. And that's why everyone who is living, mostly people living with ego, they become so much in anger. They start to fight with each other, not physically but mentally, start to argue and try to deceive other, because that ego wants to win. And that's how our old roles, family, as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a boss, as an employee, everything is operating with this, under this ego. I'm having trouble hearing you. So that's the overall thing. So here the Hawking is David Hawking is trying to say that we don't try to fix the diseases from its core, but on the mental level, as on only on the mental level we try to cure, and we prescribe the treatment which only deal with on either body or with only mind, but not with conscious, which is the antidote of our old diseases, which can or which wipe the old diseases around you. And the conscious level is only can be learned and practiced when we do more meditation, when we try to be isolate, and when we try to surrender ourselves, uh, and when we become more humble, when we try to live without ego, when we try to get source of our strength from nature, uh, when we try to be away uh, from our current set life, a digital life or physical life or mechanical life. So because that all create problems for us, and we will never be able to come out from suffering. Either these are mental suffering, or even they are physical suffering. In physical suffering, we become victim of so many unknown or known diseases. And in mental suffering, we become suffering of egoistic thought. Uh, I mean, too much emotional, uh, what we call ocean, it start to produce in my mind, and I will never be able to rest until I connect with my conscious. Now here is important point is that consciousness is described in many tradition with the different names. Many people call this consciousness is Jesus Christ or God. Many people call this consciousness as a soul. This is a soul. Many people call this consciousness as Allah, like many Muslims believe on, because that is the source of power and the ultimate reality which can help you to come out the miseries of this world, including diseases and physical illness and mental illnesses as well. So that's a totally paradigm we are discussing, and we are trying to see the world in a different way. Now here is the important thing. And what important thing is that today's the medical science and medical professional people and the admin staff like nurse and the doctors and the professors, when a patient approached to them and they say, oh, hello, I have, let's say, heart problem, or I have a symptom of in what is called in some fatal disease, let's say stroke, or we are diagnosed, let's say, cancer, Whatever the problem we do have, the other people, they perceive us, they take it as a body. They take it as a machine, like that there is a fault in the machine because of some virus, because of some genetic issue, because of something, and they start to do cure, giving me medicine, operating my body, and try to heal, doing surgeries. And then some person, if they have luck, they survive, uh, and many people, if they don't have luck, they die. That's mostly people think about, because the medical profession, or the people who are in medical science, or the scientists, they more believe on science, because science does not explain the phenomena of consciousness. Yeah. And when even there are many great questions, when we ask them, they become silent, or they say science is still researching about them. For example, if you ask to any scientist what is soul, then they will not deny it, and even they will not admit it. They say we are still working on the things, but they will interpret the consciousness based on our scientific or imperial procedures, which is based on my five senses: taste, touch, vision, uh, hearing, uh, and what is called, and smelling. So with help of this, whatever we can cover, and if we can prove with number of experiment and become a scientific fact, that's okay. Whatever is beyond from this, that will not be accepted as a scientist, and science does not cover this. Therefore, many people who believe on science or scientific or medical profession, they even die, or they even suffer from diseases more because of limitation of science. However, many people, if they are believer of science, or they understand science in a limited or in a factual way, and at the same time they also understand that this scientific fact, or this brain, is control or can connect with higher consciousness, and from there they can easily eliminate or quickly eradicate that disease, or heal more quickly. That approach is fantastic, or more helping the people to get more cure from these things. And the doctors who they are more successful, who have the sense of consciousness, even if they are not religious, or on general spirituality basis, they even can predict that the diseases are or can be cured from consciousness approach as well. And this is a dilemma, that we don't try to build the relationship with my patient based on some spiritual cause of the disease as well, because we deal with them on a materialistic cause or only the scientific cause. That's why people are not happy with the doctor. I tell you, in my country, NHS is a national body who operates the whole things in UK, and mm, there are many government institution in all across the world as well, who are responsible for medical care of the people of the nation. They are doing brilliant. I mean, but there is a limitation as well. Many people, they think that we are not being dealt how it should be dealt. They have lost of trust on medical profession because of their limitation within the scientific criteria which they have made. And people, they are treating themselves under self-help, And many people are successful in curing their disease because they think that the medical profession is limited and stuck in a limited paradigm. And my problem is also connect with my conscious or some spiritual level, which I can cure only. Let's try to find some spiritual guru as well as a good doctor. So that type of approach people are doing only on individual basis. Therefore, many people they are cured with many fatal diseases with their personal effort rather than on a collective effort or from the government or from the society. And that is a tragedy. And therefore, many people they do not have a person to person or in person relationship between doctors and the patient because that spiritual connection is missing, because doctors see and perceive the patient not as an individual, not as a soul, but only the body, or maximum is connect with the raw thoughts based mind. That's why doctor will not emotionally connect with yourself, and therefore, I mean, uh, patient will not heal very quickly. True healing for curing the patient from a disease, believe is must be there. If you believe on your doctor more, then you will cure more quickly. But if you don't believe on your medical practitioner, then there will be no cure or very very less delay in cure as well. And therefore we are dealing with our diseases with pseudo scientific type of treatment in our societies everywhere. We do start to do some physical exercise. We have aromatherapy. We have acupuncture. That's a Chinese way of treatment. We have biofeedback treatment. We chiropractic practitioner dealing with the people who have spinal issue. We deal with homeopathy. We start to have a massage with our body. We go for flotation tank to cure our disease. And there are so many other types of cure in the market. But do they treat you? Do they help you to cure fully? No, not at all. I witness very less people, they invest so much money uh, to curing, to healing them, but they are not able to cure. Even they are with the sessions with acupuncture, with dental balance treatment, with the massage for many many months, but they are not able to heal fully. They may be healing temporarily, but not the fully. Why? Because their cure is not suggested or solution give the solution based on their what is called based on their conscious or with the soul level of connectivity, because they are dealing with those medical practitioner or pseudo medical practitioner based on their body or mind only. That's why they are not able to get healed properly, and that's a dilemma. That's a dilemma, and that situation is very complicated nowadays in our world. So, but from the conscious level, if we see David Hawkins' map of consciousness, which I often rated, and many people, my audience, are familiar, that we produce our emotions, our body produce our emotions in form of shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, and it goes when the person start to heal or they have a higher consciousness, they stay connect with their universal consciousness or universal mind, universal uh, soul, or will connect with their God or Allah or with their spiritual gurus or healer, then your consciousness start to rise, and until you start to produce higher emotions, higher level of energies, like willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. So that's how we our consciousness is so important in order to make us fit, in order to make us heal from any diseases if we are in sort of in danger. So that's a overall a brief description how the consciousness is important in our life. Before I go to my next two paragraph only, and some description. If you have any question or you want to share any thought, please feel free. Then otherwise, then we will go to the next one. Right. So I believe you will be enjoying the content what we are discussing here. So let's go to the next one, and I will tell you in a diagram in the next slide that how we do create something in our mind, and the same thing how we create disease in our mind, and that disease start to depict in our body, that disease start to show or reflect through our body. I will going to show you. It's a very mind-blowing, it's a life-changing session. I believe you will get a lot of things, and obviously a lot of things to explanation as well, because we cannot cover a lot of things in such a small duration as well. So let's start to read our next para, and then we can go. So if I ask Cynthia, if you can read this, please. Sorry, where is that? Yeah.
Yes, I can. Conferences on stress, for example, routinely include the following topics: aromatherapy, physical exercise workshop, acupuncture for stress disorders, biofeedback, chiropractic, stress regulation, nutrition, fitness and exercise profile, homeopathy, autogenic training, holistic healing, message and body work, flotation tanks, dental balance, unwinding technique by use of body movements. As we can see from the above, the common approaches deal only with the consequences and resultant damage from the stress syndrome. None of them deal with the basic causes. They all involve relatively complicated and time-consuming procedures, and they do not lend themselves to on-the-spot application.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So let's learn a little bit more about that. So if Mike, if you can read it, please. What is a law consciousness says?
Law of consciousness states that we are only subject to what we hold in mind. What is held in mind tends to manifest, including unconscious beliefs. The culprit is not the world, but the mind. All the negative programming and fearful conditioning was in the mind, and the body obeyed the mind. It was not poison who may damage you, but mind. It is not black magic harm you, but your mind. Without a change of consciousness, there is no real reduction of stress.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So you see, the ultimate reality which I could find for myself and I can share with you is the last sentence what Mike just read it for us kindly. That without change in consciousness, it at any level, that depends how understanding I have rightly, there is no real reduction of stress and suffering, mental suffering, social suffering, physical suffering. We cannot. That's for sure. That's the ultimate thing which I, and the black magic or magic works only on a mental level because of projection of external evil body or soul. They try to push you, they try to impact on your mind, they try to suppress you, they try to dominate on your mind. And when your mind is ready to accept it, then the black magic start to happen. Black magic or sort of this thing does not exist. It only can destroy you or give you problem when you start to accept it as a existence, as an object. And when we try to perceive the things as an object in front of my mind, what is society is showing me, what the other person is trying to threat me, and I admit that yes, it will harmful, and it is harmful, and it is going to harm me, and it can harm, because I see many people affecting from black magic. Then now it's your turn. It's your turn to get influenced negatively with black magic, and it will start to depict and reflect on your body as well. And therefore many people, they try to blame the other people's intervention in your body or mind, and they are not ready to accept their own responsibility. They say, we are in magic done by that person. Look at in our society how imaginative or hypothetical we are in these type of beliefs, and everybody or every second or third person is believing on this thing. That's why we become victim, because we try to see them as a reality. And when your mind start to believe as a reality, then it works. Do you think that the magic mag works with everyone? It works only those people who believe on black magic, isn't it? If anybody say there is no black magic and it's all bullshit, do you think that black magic can affect on that person? No, because of acceptance, because he or she knows that it it is a delusion, it is a illusion, which people start to believe, and they become victim of that, and bodies start to respond accordingly. And I will not, that will never affect you. So it is only the mental creation you need, because my mind is not connect with my consciousness. That's why I may tend to be victim of that. And that's happened because love consciousness say you are the only subject what we hold in our mind. If we hold in our mind bad things, superstitious things, negative emotions, negative thoughts, then they will start to operate sooner or later, consciously or unconsciously. Now I'm going to show you a diagram. Uh, Obviously, I'm not a scientist, or I'm not like research. I'm a researcher, but here I'm going to show you what we can understand generally. How we perceive actually our objects. It's very easy. For example, that person having a mind, and when that person see a book, yeah, and that person, either that book exists here or not, its image will produce at the center of the brain, behind the eyes. Yeah, or even that person is blind, that still can imagine the things. Now that person can imagine and experience that object as a materialistic object, or that person start to read that book or loving that book or hating that book or content of that book as well, or start to interpret that book with those stories which does not exist even. But these are all things are going to exist, isn't it? For example, if I read something story and it does not exist in the world, but still I can imagine that thing. From there I can write so many fiction. I can create lot of video games. I can create lot of what is called fictitious and science fiction books and literature. Millions of billions of stuff I can create, and that's happening. But are they realities? Nope. But we tend to see it as a reality because of our perception. Now imagine if that book is not here, yeah, and you are watching and you are listening or hearing some horrible stories of black magic, and that still is going to portray, and you are imagining here in your brain, even though that thing does not exist here. Yeah, but because it exists in your mind, that is and if your mind is not connected with your consciousness or depend on the level of consciousness you have, then that's all things going to be a reality now for you. This is only for you. Black magic is a reality for you because you have allowed it to become a reality. Black magic will not be reality of other person who does not believe on this. So that's how you can create your own life. That's how you can create your own diseaseless or very fit person you can be. How it is so important for you. And you can have longevity. You can live more longer if you work on your brain, if you work on your mind uh, positively. That's why we have to store those concepts, those beliefs, and believing on those realities which are positive and which are connected with consciousness, which are uh, which directly or indirectly connect with consciousness, which is the ultimate reality. And that's why you can help yourself to cure from the diseases. And imagine if a medical practitioner or a doctor or a surgeon who is believing on consciousness, who knows that I'm going to operate the patient, but I know that there is some other conscious connectivity. That person is going to be healed. That treatment will going to work definitely, or more chances it will work because the beliefs and the mindset of the surgeon. Don't you think that many times if person is not healed or person is is suffering from any medical illness more and more in spite of more treatment in the hospital, what the doctor says usually, that doctor says just pray to your God. Why they say? Because the God is the last thing, or the conscious awareness is the last thing which can heal that person. So here, mostly people, they also accept this as the ultimate reality. But if you don't want to live in the hospital for longer without cure, then we need to change our mind. We need to connect with any level of consciousness, because the what is inside mind is is the reality, is going to be reality for me. Don't you think when you see that or watch the dreams, when you are sleeping and you are watching a dream, and if that dream in which you are, your life is in danger, do you think that you are seeing that you are watching a dream and you are not going to die? No, you perceive that phenomena or film in the dream as a reality. And when you suddenly woke up and when your body start to react or you are going to die, oh, thanks God, I just woke up. Oh, I'm alive. Oh, I did not die. Why this happens? Because you were watching a dream. But when you were in a dream, you were thinking it as a reality, and it going to be die. You were going to die in that dream. And don't you think many people die while they were watching the dream? Many people, many people in our world, they die on the bed when they were in at the death. They were sleeping. They were very. Uh, they were normal people. But in the morning they never wake up, and they die because of some reason. And medical science just predict one or two symptoms, and they say he or she died because of that reason. But no, mostly probably in the dream they perceive some death, and that death becomes the reality of that person. So obviously we cannot verify these things from a scientific thing, because only we are not filming the person who is watching, even who's watching the dream, but we can predict. But that's all connect with consciousness. When we sleep, if we believe and if we start to make our mind to connect with consciousness, then we tend to have watch our good dreams, our nice dreams, positive dreams as well, or even dreamless. Many people who do not watch any dream, who do not see any dream, they tend to believe to connect with consciousness. But sometimes people, they believe, they watch nice spiritual dreams, good dreams. That's also a type of consciousness what they keep. So yeah, so that's I'm going to show you. Yeah, we will just cover. Yes, thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. So let's start to wrap up and read just two paragraphs. If Mike, if you can read it, please, for us.
As an example, let's say that we're giving a speech or lecture. We're on the spot. It is impractical to stop in the middle of a speech and do breathing exercises, go into a hypnotic trance, stick ourselves with acupuncture needles, or hitch up to a biofeedback machine. How handy is a flotation tank in the middle of a family argument? Because these approaches are temporary, time-consuming, and often expensive, people try them for a short while with enthusiasm, but then their enthusiasm wears off because basically nothing has really changed. The same basic perceptions of the world persist. The same emotional pressures are there. The personality remains the same. Life circumstances have not changed. One's level of consciousness is not altered. The person's psychology is the same. Expectation continues as before, and life therefore continues as before.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So, that's a very self-explanatory thing. that if only these techniques, stress management techniques, which we just counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if in the middle of argument, if I start to feel stress, so to reducing the stress, do you think I start to do acupuncture or treatment, or I start to put myself in a tank to just reducing the stress? I mean, why we are in stress? The question is, and because we are not connect with consciousness, that's why we become so stressful, because we don't know how to release it. And during the speech or during the argument or in the meeting, or or the counter argument with wife or husband, I mean, I cannot work or doing some breathing exercises. So the point is we why we should feel stress. We should not have a stress. And if we have stress, then out of the way, or in another time, we start to go in the gym and in the swimming pool and doing some relaxing things. I mean, uh, it means that you are ready to suffer all the time now, because stress will come, and in some time you will go and will do little bit relax. So you have admit only already that you want to keep stress, and you will reduce the stress in the stress and out of the stress. That how you will live in this planet. That's your approach, and that's happened with everyone. But imagine if you don't approach with a person that he or she will have a stress, then that you will not be stressed at all. But because of belief is not sufficient. You have to connect with consciousness in any level, and then you become that your become a psychology of your living in this world. And that's how many people are stay away with diseases, stay away with the stress at all. And uh, and many people, they try to connect with consciousness by doing some meditation, like many people, they go church, like Cynthia just left for the church. So she will do some prayer, she will try to connect with consciousness or with the God, and doing some rituals, and uh, that is going to be give her peace in some level. That depends the quality of thoughts and belief or understanding with consciousness she will have. That's going to be one. That's happened with many, let's say, Muslims. They go to the mosque and they do some prayer, and with the body they go in prostrate. They raise their hands and do prayer with their God Allah. That's happened with many Hindus. That can happen even you don't believe on religion. It's just a meditation. When you go in a Himalayas mountain, uh, in Himalayas mountain, there are thousands big mountains, and in the mountain, when you sit and you just meditate there, even you can meditate in your home and in a garden, or so you can make an effort to connect with consciousness anyhow, and that going to be positive impact on your life. Then you are going to heal yourself easily. Or when you connect with any spiritual path, uh, like in this world, if you see this image, that image is of a Muslim spiritual person, Sufi, who is doing a dance, a spiritual dance, and revolving and in a circular shape hundreds of times, and he or she does not become dizzy, because now he or she connects with consciousness, with in whatever the level they or he or she has. And that's the how mind, you can control your mind in a positive way. Only the consciousness, power of consciousness, can uh, give your can control your mind. So that's the thing. It's a last paragraph, so I would ask Jenny if you can read it for us.
Without a change of consciousness, there is no real reduction of stress. Only the consequences are ameliorated. All of these after the fact techniques and treatments do help and often alleviate a given condition and bring some relief, but they leave the basis of the problem untouched. One can follow all of these techniques and yet remain in the same stress-prone person. In our experience, the conscious use of the mechanism of surrender is more effective in addressing chronic stress-related illnesses. Illnesses begin to heal spontaneously because the underlying emotional cause has been removed, and further treatments often become unnecessary. In the uncommon case of persistent illness that is not cleared by the surrender of negative thoughts and feelings, unknown factors such as karmic productivities may be operating. In such cases, we surrender the desire to change or control our experience of life, and we await further inner discovery about the source and significance of the illness. Surrender at great depth is complete when a person has let go of needing or wanting a physical healing to occur. A state of peace about the situation is reached when all three aspects of illness, physical, mental, and spiritual, have been addressed and the final outcome or wish for recovery has been surrendered. Peace comes with total inner surrender to what is.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a great reading. So there are a lot of things in this reading we can discuss. Because of time constraint, I will just wrap up the things and point out the important things. The chronic diseases and their cure is only possible when you touch with some with conscious level and surrender in front of your conscious. The surrender is so important, and because you touch the root of the disease, because that conscious level make and wipe the negativity from your mind, and then once it will be removed from the mind, then it means that your body start to operate normally. Your body will take instruction because your mind is now clear, and then your body start to feel healing. And that's mostly people get healed when they visit their gurus, or they are under healing with great people, like great medical professional people, uh, or with under some sort of great guidance. However, there is a point still, if person does not heal, then for example, a person who is uh, believing, who is very spiritual person, and that person's body is paralyzed, for example, but he or she is connect still with consciousness. Great person, do lot of virtues, believe on love, sacrifice, have or and maybe enlightened, but still he or she is not cured still. Then what is why? What is explanation for that? Then Dr. David Hawkins is saying because of karmic event is happening, there is possibility he or she will not be healed. And you know about that karmic idea. It's another topic, but the karmic or it derived from karma. It's belief in Buddhist and Hindu tradition that based on your righteous and your great acts in this world, when you die, then you have a rebirth. You born again in another form with more higher strength and power as well, based on your previous acts, what you've done. If you are not healing, it means that something happened in your previous generation, in your previous birth, and that is going to be impact now. But you don't need to worry. You still surrender. You surrender your disease. You surrender even the wish for recovery, and possibly, more possibly, a miracle happens and you become perfectly fine. It is difficult, I know. It is very challenging when person is dying absolutely and now he or she does not wish to recover because he or she is going to surrender in front of consciousness, in front of God. But at that point, miracles happens. And that's happened with a lot of people who believe on miracles. That's happened with a lot of great beings, like with Jesus Christ. He used to cure the people with the hand, dead people with the hands. Like the Prophet Muhammad, he used to show a lot of miracles to people because of this consciousness, this awareness. And because today a lot of people, great people, they do as well. But obviously a scientific mind people or mind, they cannot understand it. And because of limitation, like I said earlier in the starting of this session, that's why they try to mock the religious people or spiritual people or people who believe in spirituality. Yeah. But we understand absolutely why they do, because of their limitations of their mind. But the people who know, who have awareness, true and complete awareness about consciousness and its operating and its vastness, it's how it covers the whole phenomena of to body and then the mind, then they are a great people. And that conflict will always remain, remember. But that conflict is one-sided only. That is a beauty. That the scientific or the modern man cannot understand this cure, yeah, because of limitation, because of imperial mind, because of these that mind, intellectual mind, egoistic mind. That mind, that brain, and that intellect is very limited circle it has. And anything which is beyond that circle, they don't accept it. But the good news is, so many great people, they are believing on this now, and they are working. Universities, medical institutions, they are investing millions or billions of pounds and dollars on this research now. Itself, the book which we are reading, is our author is a psychiatrist, very famous psychiatrist. He was treating the person on a body and mental level, but at the same time, because of higher consciousness, he was able to cure so many people as well. And this is going on. So that's all the science of mind and body series finish. I hope you enjoy it. Obviously, it's a vast topic, but I try to cover in a limited way. Hope it will help you for mine. If you have any question or you want to share, that's fine. Otherwise, I will finish this session now.
Yeah, it was great session, and I've learned many things from this session. And in our surrounding, in our society, every second, third person are threatened by black magic due to their strong intention on them, and they can't heal back because they thought it's permanent for them, and it is a real thing, but it's just our intention, our consciousness, and if we think it's nothing for us, it have no any power. So it it will never harm us.
Absolutely. It's a great learning you are sharing. Absolutely. It is our mind who accept and who allow these things the part of your being. The people who don't allow this fake, this deception, not only in black magic, but many other beliefs as a part of your being, it won't going to be affect. So, I mean, that's how you build your true self with the believing the right things stored in mind, and it connects with your uh, with consciousness, with your God, with your spiritual whatever you believe on this. So it's a great point. It's a great learning you are
And
sharing.
as a quotation says that mentality creates reality. So as we think our reality becomes same, our according to our thinking.
Yeah, yeah. The reality which you are creating, obviously, that's realities for you. Many people say that, oh my God, uh, it is happening with me. She has spells the magic on me, or he has spells the magic on me, and my body is responding. It's clearly I'm under magic. How you can deny this? But other person or other observer cannot understand, or will just laugh or smile at that person, because that's magic has become a reality for him or her, because she or he believe on this. He or she has turned his or her mind on this. That's why she is experiencing this outcomes of the magic. Even if she accept that she will die because of that magic, it will happen, or it may happen as well. That's the power of mind, how you can. That's why I earlier say to show you this image, that you can turn the matter with your mind as well, or you can have this capability. But that's depend how well you are connected. That's how you can produce miracles as well. That depends how you are connected, and you make your mind away, stay away from negativity. So thank you very much. I appreciate your patience for this series. The next Sunday, we are going to a brand new series in a second session on courage. We will discuss about what is courage mean, understanding of courage, and how we can produce courage, how we can become more courageous, because that is linked with our self-confidence, with truthfulness, with connectivity, and uh, with our success as well. So it's a very important series. It will be 2-3 part series. I will cover in, I think, 3 parts or 4 episodes. But let's see. That's we are going to start a series. So thank you so much. And there is a YouTube channel link and my blog link as well. You can subscribe it as well. I'm trying to build a community. Uh, so thank you so much. Thank you for your valuable time. And I will see you next week with the new topics and new series. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maratib.